The bromance is definitely over. President Trump and Elon Musk erupted into a nasty public feud today.
I'm very disappointed in Elon. I've helped Elon a lot.
The extraordinary squabble happened before the eyes of the world as the president was meeting with the Chancellor of Germany in the Oval Office. He claims Musk has turned against him because the big, beautiful bill removes the tax credits for buying electric cars like Teslas.
I'm very disappointed because Elon knew the inner workings of this bill better than almost anybody sitting here, better than you people. He knew everything about it. He had no problem with it. All of a sudden, he had a problem. And he only developed the problem when he found out that we're going to have to cut the EV mandate.
Musk was listening and he responded in real time, basically calling Trump a liar. False. This bill was never shown to me even once, he declared on social media as Trump bashed him. Such ingratitude. Without me, Trump would have lost the election. The president says Musk has a case of Trump derangement syndrome.
I'll tell you, he's not the first. People leave my administration, they leave and they wake up in the morning and the glamour's gone, the whole world is different, and they become hostile.
You could see he looked visibly sad when talking about this fraying relationship with someone that he has viewed for so long now as a good friend of his.
The rift is reportedly so deep, Musk won't even take calls from the White House.
Members of Trump's team have reached out to Elon Musk. No response.
Elon and I had a great relationship. I don't know if we're well anymore. I was surprised.
All right. What's going on? It's your boy Jay Taylor. Voices for the voiceless. Good morning. Peace and blessings, everybody. It's your boy Jay Taylor. So, we got to talk about it, man. Man, this has been brewing for a minute. You know, the whole situation with President Trump and Elon Musk. I touched on it in a video the day before yesterday when Elon Musk came out criticizing the big, beautiful bill. You know, the bill that famously champions the policies of no tax on tips, no tax on overtime, you know. So those particular policies are what I'm particularly excited about, you know. That's supposed to help the working middle class like myself. And Elon Musk has came out publicly and, you know, basically went at Trump, and Trump has responded, and I just hate to see it, man. I mean, on one end, Elon Musk is actually making a lot of sense as far as certain cuts to the spending. You know, Elon and Doge went in and highlighted a lot of wasteful spending as it relates to abuse and things that we spend money on in our budget that needs to be eliminated, so we have less taxes on our citizens. I think Trump is doing everything in his power to implement the policies that he ran his campaign on, such as no tax on tips, no tax on overtime. But with that, it's not just all the way up to the president to pass everything. It has to go through Congress, and in the process, it went through the House of Representatives. And in that particular process, before it becomes law, certain things have to be negotiated and compromised. Certain things have to get taken out, certain things get implemented, so everybody in Congress has a vested interest in the budget. So what typically happens is everybody's not going to be happy with everything, but as long as they get something out of it. And when you got Republicans from all over the country that got different agendas, and to get their vote on the bill, that's what typically happens. Certain compromises. And I don't think Elon Musk really understands that process because he's not a politician. So it may be certain things that he incentivized, and he feels as though as much as he sacrificed, you know, he slept in the White House on the floor, working overtime. So I get where he coming from. I also get where Trump coming from. And as the title says, what's beef? Elon Musk versus President Trump. And man, it got ugly all over X with Elon and Trump going back and forth yesterday in a heated exchange. But it was all good just a week ago, right? You know, President Trump presented Elon Musk with a gift, the key to the White House, not even 7 days ago. You know what I'm saying? So it seemed like, you know, everything was all good as far as we can tell. But we don't know what's going on inside, you know, the White House and how things are, you know, we're not privy to all the information. But this was just 7 days ago, when Elon Musk and Trump were kicking it and everything was cool. You know what I'm saying? So without further ado, let's bring that back to see these two fellas getting along.
We have here
Thank you.
a very special, that I give to very special people. I have given it to some, but it goes to very special people, and I thought I'd give it to Elon as a presentation from our country.
Thank you.
Thank you, Elon.
Thank you.
Take care of yourself.
Thank you. But the Doge team will only grow stronger over time. The Doge influence will only grow stronger. It's I liken it to sort of Buddhism. It's like a way of life. So it is permeating throughout the government, and I'm confident that over time we'll see $1 trillion of savings and a reduction in $1 trillion of wasted fraud reduction.
If you can see right here, Elon Musk got a black eye. That's crazy. I think he said something about he was playing with his son and it happened. But, you know, you can see these guys, they've been hanging out real tough since the beginning of, I would say, last year, man. He campaigned with Trump. He funded Trump, gave Trump all kind of support, you know, during his campaign. And, you know, Elon was a Democrat recently and jumped on the Trump campaign, and they had a bromance ever since. So this is shocking to most people, including myself, when it started to surface a few days ago about the spending bill, the big, beautiful bill. Now, it passed through Congress as far as the House of Representatives. Now it has to go to the Senate and get passed through the Senate before it could be signed into law. And like I said, Elon Musk is very critical of the cuts and saying that the work that he did with Doge will be all for nothing, basically. But yeah, man, it was all good just a week ago. So with that being said, let's show a chain of events that went down, you know, between Elon Musk and Donald Trump on social media, as they basically annihilated each other, more so Elon Musk, you know, and Trump responded. You know, it was crazy, man. It was crazy to see this, man. What's beef?
Talk to me, Kelly, about the president's reaction to Elon Musk's tweets.
It's got a middle school quality to it that's happening here. We're talking about two billionaires, two incredibly powerful people, and it is a spat for the ages. And it's only getting worse, and it's picking up steam. And who could have predicted, really? So what we heard from the president, that moment you described, I do think it does suggest that there is a breach here that may not be recoverable. Also notably, when it was asked of Mr. Musk in the Oval about the black eye that he had, he talked about it being from his 5-year-old son. At that point, President Trump claimed he was just learning about it. So today he's saying he offered concealer makeup before the event. So, make of that what you will. Back and forth on their platforms, their powerful platforms that they each own, kind of ratting on each other. And it's gone to the point where now President Trump is saying, what if we cut the government spending by getting rid of the subsidies that go to Musk's companies? Well, of course, that includes SpaceX and the international efforts that he's done to help with the space station and all of that. So there may be no bounds to this bromance falling apart in front of us. And it really comes down to where are the centers of power? Clearly, the sitting president, who has enormous influence over the Republican Party, has a lot of sway, is intent on getting his piece of legislation, which includes a lot of his priorities, passed through the Senate and then back to the House and resolved and signed into law. Musk is now a free agent, it appears, no longer the special government employee. The president says he got rid of him. That was very different than what we saw in the Oval Office. The evolving sort of assessment of where the relationship went wrong from the White House is happening in real time. And Musk retains his immense wealth and his interest in politics, and we'll see where he chooses to play. He recently, after the Wisconsin Supreme Court efforts where he put in a lot of money and didn't get his result, said he would back away from politics and focus on his businesses. So today's just one of those days that in the span of a short period of time, it's sort of like a sinkhole, a political sinkhole in a relationship that not long ago was described as co-presidents. Katie?
All right, let me read a little bit of what Donald Trump posted on True Social. He says, Elon was wearing thin. He asked him to leave. I took away his EV mandate that forced everyone to buy electric cars that nobody else wanted, that he knew for months I was going to do, and he just went crazy.
Okay, let's stop that right there. Because the EV mandate that she's talking about, like she said, would stop taxes on electric cars. And they're saying that Elon is upset that that will not be withdrawn from the spending bill. So his taxes will be, that's a vested interest in Tesla. So that is something that people are saying that Elon said that he ain't mad about that, but there are sources that are saying, oh yeah, that's been the talk of the White House, that Elon was salty about that. You know what I'm saying? And let's be clear, man. Elon Musk, the Democrats was sitting up there talking about Elon Musk was really running the country. And Elon Musk is the president. He's making all the decisions, and Trump is his puppet. But as we see right here in real time, that these guys don't agree on everything. And Trump is very much the president due to this tax situation on the EV mandate. So that was something that the Democrats ran on, but clearly it's not true. As we see, these guys are having a disagreement about. Let's continue.
Then he says the easiest way to save money in our budget, billions and billions of dollars, is to terminate Elon's governmental subsidies and contracts. I was always surprised that Biden didn't do it. Musk replied to Trump online, such an obvious lie, he says. So sad. Wow. I mean, Tyler, canceling his government subsidies and contracts would be a massive deal, obviously, for Elon Musk. But also, Elon Musk is pretty deep in a lot of national security apparatuses within this country.
All these threats they throwing at each other, these are two billionaires. Billionaires don't have to sit on Twitter and go back and forth like two rappers that's beefing. If you really was going to cut that man government contract, Trump, just do it. And Elon Musk sitting up there talking about Trump is the reason the Epstein files ain't came out because Trump is a part of in the records. Let's be clear about something. When Trump was running for office, the government threw so much dirt at this man. They went, the federal government and the several states went through this man's life with a fine-tooth comb. Do you think if that man had any dirt on him as it pertains to Jeffrey Epstein, that they wouldn't have charged him with something like that? You know what I'm saying? So this, to me, makes it seem like this is all theatrics. This is theater. This is political theater. Maybe this is done strategically to create this atmosphere for a certain agenda. Maybe Elon Musk and Trump are creating this to shake the bush to see what snakes is going to take what side. See, they cutting the grass right now, trying to expose the snakes, if you ask me. I don't believe none of this, right? Because ain't nothing really happened but a whole bunch of talk on social media. To me, this beef is fake, and they are using this as some type of agenda to expose certain things, to see if the Democrats are going to bite when this bill goes through to get certain cuts. That's just allegedly. That's what I'm guessing. All this political theater out the blue, nah, bro. Because Trump been talking about the EV mandate wasn't getting cut, so that wasn't no surprise. You feel me? Let's continue.
Get your claims handled instantly. It's about time insurance does that. Get a quote at lemonade.com.
Man, these commercials be tripping. Hold on.
Yeah, Katie, it's remarkable how quickly this has escalated. What started, as Kelly just said, as a feud over this domestic policy bill has now exploded much beyond that. And for Elon Musk, a threat to the government contracts and subsidies he gets for his business could prove to be existential. So much of what his companies are doing rely on working closely with the federal government. And so it's remarkable that Trump is going really for the jugular here on something that is core to Elon Musk's private wealth and his management of businesses. And if you just take a step back to recall, one of the reasons Elon Musk was stepping away, or what he said was he was stepping away from his role in the Trump administration, was to go focus on those private businesses. And this is such a come down from just a few weeks ago when there were the parade of Teslas on the south lawn of the White House, and Trump said he was going to spend his own money to purchase one, lamenting that Musk had dealt with a lot of professional reputational damage and his company had been hurt by Musk's work in the Trump administration. Now
let's stop it right there, because that's another thing that I want to focus in on. Like he just said, since he been working with Trump, his businesses have been attacked. His stocks went down at certain points, lost a lot of money, and people were attacking him on social media, threatening his life, all type of stuff due to the work that he was doing with Doge. You know what I'm saying? So this is maybe another reason why this could be political theater, for the fact that he's trying to separate himself from Donald Trump and gain favor back with people that's on the left, so they'll go back and support his businesses, allegedly. So they probably strategically doing this so Elon Musk can go back to his businesses and get everybody to support him, not just certain people that rock with Trump, because a lot of people stopped supporting Elon Musk and Tesla and all of that. that's just a thought of mine. You know what I'm saying? Because y'all remember 2 months ago, they was lighting Tesla dealerships on fire. It was crazy. You know what I'm saying? Elon Musk suffered a lot just for supporting the Trump administration. And if you don't remember, let's go back in time. Because all of this stuff is recorded in real time, dog. This is recorded in real time. Look what they did to this man.
The White House is vowing to crack down on the rising number of Tesla attacks at car dealerships across the country.
KTLA Samantha Cortese joins us live with more on the wave of vandalism in protest of Elon Musk and his role in Washington. Sam?
Hi, Sharon, Micah. The ATF and FBI are collaborating with federal, state, and local law enforcement to investigate acts of domestic terrorism surrounding Teslas. Teslas are being torched across the country. Dealerships shot up and set on fire. Spray paint to vandalize and make a statement. People in Southern California are getting notes on their Teslas, calling them complicit Nazis for owning electric cars.
Let's figure out other ways of, dealing with it.
People are protesting Elon Musk's role within President Trump's White House, leading the Department of Government Efficiency's cuts to federal spending.
We think it's despicable what is happening to not just this American company, but also their innocent employees. And again, innocent Americans who drive these vehicles. We condemn it wholeheartedly.
Website DogeQuest is doxing alleged Tesla owners all over Los Angeles, Orange, and San Bernardino counties. Creators claim they will delete people's information once they prove they've sold their Tesla. Attorney General Pam Bondi called Tesla vandalism domestic terrorism. Retired FBI agent Ken Gray agrees.
Individuals who are owning Teslas through this DogeQuest may find their property being destroyed or at least damaged by people that for political purposes. So this really is domestic terrorism.
Former vice presidential candidate and Minnesota Governor Tim Walz is taking some heat over this reaction to the American car company's stock dropping.
They've got that little stock app. I added Tesla to it to give me a little boost during the day. 225 and dropping.
Tesla stock closed at $235 today, perhaps a boost from the California Public Utilities Commission, which granted the company a permit to transport passengers, the first step toward a rideshare service. Tesla says it will initially use the permit to transport Tesla employees. As far as arrests go, police in San Jose arrested one man for keying a Tesla in a Costco parking lot. That suspect is being charged with felony vandalism. In the newsroom, Samantha Cortese, Sharon Micah, and Vera, over to you.
All right. Yeah. So y'all remember that? That was just 2 months ago, bro. I mean, people were literally... My bad. Wrong button. People were literally burning down Tesla dealerships, vandalizing the buildings, vandalizing Teslas in the parking lot, seeing Teslas driving down the street and vandalizing random citizens' vehicles. And you had Democratic leaders such as the guy from Minnesota. What's his name? I can't think of his name right now, but yeah, you had the Democrats cheering that on, like, remember Jasmine Crockett, let's take Elon Musk down. You know, they were celebrating this man, businesses being attacked, and Donald Trump was sitting up there like, man, this is bogus. The whole administration, like, we about to charge y'all and throw the book at y'all if we catch y'all. But now, you see why I say, like, Elon Musk took a lot of hits when he joined the Trump administration because he was exposing the corruption. And a lot of these people were paid by activist groups from Democratic activist groups like Act Blue that are backed by Democratic funders like George Soros. Act Blue were paying people to go vandalize Tesla 2-3 months ago. But now that Trump and Elon Musk are having this little feud going on. When I said earlier about cutting the grass and exposing the snakes and shaking the tree and exposing the snakes, the Democrat Party is trying to take advantage of this little alleged feud that they got going on. And they are so pathetic. Let's take a look at this, man. Shout out to the 5 on Fox.
Democrats suddenly in love with the guy they torched Teslas over, called a Nazi and recently accused of genocide. Elon Musk taking issue with President Trump's big, beautiful bill, calling it a disgusting abomination, which he fears is bankrupting America. The Democrats wasting no time pouncing on Musk's comments.
Breaking news, Elon Musk and I agree with each other. Every single Republican who voted for the one big, ugly bill should be ashamed of themselves.
Say something I didn't think was imaginable. I agree with Elon Musk.
Now that the national divorce is happening with Elon Musk, and I'm a child of divorce, okay? I mean, who's going to get big balls? I'm worried about him in the divorce. The children always get caught in the middle, right? And so I just, if he's out there, I just want him to know we're rooting for him.
And the liberal media exploding in delight over the big, beautiful beef.
Is your child struggling with a gaming addiction? Major companies behind games like Minecraft, Fortnite, and
breaking up is hard to do. And that is exactly what is going on here.
This is what it's like outside the tent with Elon Musk outside the tent, which is not a good place for the Trump administration to be because he has a huge platform.
If you attack Donald Trump and Donald Trump says nothing, Donald Trump's silence is the biggest expression of fear that he has.
Trump versus Elon, what an unexpected, I'm not sure who to root for. It's like Diddy versus R. Kelly.
Hold on, man. He had to say Diddy versus R. Kelly. They always got to put R. Kelly and Diddy in something, man. It's crazy.
All right, Dennis, the Democrats are delighting in this.
Yes, it's a strange new respect, although it is very disingenuous of them to say they agree with Elon Musk. They agree that they don't like the big, beautiful bill, but for very different reasons. The Democrats want to spend a lot more. Elon Musk is saying we really need to cut more. And he's not wrong. And I think that if we were in a perfect world, there would be a lot of different cuts. But one of the most important things that this bill does is for someone who's going to be a trillionaire, they might not care about the tax cuts in this bill. But if you're a middle class taxpayer, you care a lot. And so the bill needs to get done. Right now, I just feel like I just step back. I don't deal with all of the details in it every day and get into the nitty gritty of it because I believe this. The bill is going to get done at the end of the day. Neither side is going to really like it that much, but it'll get done. We'll fund the government. Nothing much will change. And then we will go on to whatever is next.
Greg, they're telling me in my ear that Musk just took his Tesla back from Trump.
Oh, that's terrible. That's terrible. For a normal thinking person, you can hold two thoughts in your head. The bill isn't where the cuts should be, but it's what needs to be done now. It's not that hard. And actually, it's wonderful that they're that transparent. This argument is not happening behind closed doors. No one is lying to you about Trump's mental state. Nobody's telling you, oh, they're going on picnics together. You can see it. There's no conspiracy, no corruption. When Republicans, when in Trump's administration, when something's going down, you see it.
Exactly. Now, for what it's worth, although I don't like the public beefing between Donald Trump and Elon Musk, like this man just said, you see it, full transparency. They not covering up anything. Like, they don't agree. Now, I think the disagreement could have been done in better fashion, but at the same time, they not phony or fake. I'm not taking no sides in this. I don't know what's going on. I'm just alleging that I think that this is theatric. I think this is political theater for a particular agenda, a good agenda. I think that they want to encourage the Senate to add more cuts to the bill strategically, just to undermine Trump, because they know they hate Trump that much they automatically jumped on Elon Musk's side. Automatically. And like they said, Elon Musk is not wrong. There needs to be more cuts done to the bill, but that can come with time, right? But just the fact that Elon Musk is going this hard leads me to believe that they are doing this for a specific reason. Reasons, for one, for Elon Musk to disassociate himself from Trump so his businesses can get back on track. For two, to encourage the left to add more cuts to agree to more cuts, spending cuts. You know what I'm saying? And this is just allegedly. I don't want to give away too much sauce, but I'm just saying this is done openly, maybe for a reason. Maybe they felt like they had to go to this extent for people. They had to make it juicy. Oh, Trump with the Epstein files. Come on, man. You mean to tell me when Joe Biden was in office and they had access to the FBI files, they couldn't see Donald Trump did something nefarious with Jeffrey Epstein when they threw the book at him and tried to get him locked up? I don't believe that. That was bait. They threw the bait out there. Right? Ain't nothing on it. Or they would have charged them with it. Please believe that. I'm just saying, though. Let's continue.
This is a reconciliation, not an appropriations bill. There's no mechanism for reductions for like 99% of the government, what the government does. But that's going to come later. But we don't have time to explain that. And I get why Musk is mad, because Musk, he wants to put a rocket in space. He's going to do it. Right. So he's just impatient. But it's important that he's impatient. We need to have that. In the A block, we talked about immigration. In the B block, we're talking about budget. The next block, crime. Suddenly, how adult did this country become? The A block, immigration. B, budget. C, crime. No gender, no race, no book bans, no Pride Month. And why? Because Trump and Musk, through their deeds, deliberately focused attention on the issues that actually matter. And so, the Dems always say we need to have a conversation. Well, we're actually having the conversation, and it's right out there in front of you. You should be really happy. I think it sucks to be a Democrat because your life is wholly negative. If you wake up rooting for failure and it happens, we as a country fail. If you wake up rooting for failure and we don't fail, then you're dejected. So your satisfaction is rooted in failure and your dissatisfaction is rooted in success. That means if you align to their thinking, you're going to lose either way.
Ooh, wow. Drop the mic on that one. Drop the mic on that one. Hey, man. It's crazy to be a Democrat, right? In this situation. If I was a Democrat, I would just be quiet. I wouldn't pick a side because y'all look crazy. Y'all was just calling Elon Musk Adolf Hitler 90 days ago. He throwing Nazi signs. Oh, now I agree with him because he beefing with Trump. You suckers. Y'all playing yourself. Y'all played yourself right into their hands. They threw the bait out there and you fell for it. Because you hate Trump that much. You don't want the country to succeed. You don't want the country to be successful because you want Trump to fail. That's basically what he was saying. You should be trying to reach across the aisle and work with the president. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy, man. But like I said, man, I hate to see the public beefing, but at the same time, and I said this in the first time a video that I addressed this issue, you can go back and watch that it's a flip side to it, right? Because it's full transparency for the people to see that, they not fake. They don't agree all the time. Ain't neither one of them yes man. So I ain't taking no sides. But I didn't vote for Elon. I voted for Donald Trump. You know what I'm saying? So in this particular situation, that's where my loyalty lie. But man, I'm not throwing Elon under the bus either, and I think that's the wise and intelligent move in this situation, just for me. And yeah, man, Speaker of the House, Mike Johnson, kind of really substantiated that with his statements. And I want to get to that. And it's very interesting what he said his last exchange with Elon Musk was. So let's cue that up. And here we go.
Great to see you all this morning. We look, our leadership team had very much looked. Let me just address the Elon controversy and tell you that I consider Elon a friend. He's obviously brilliant. I just told you we credit him with all the big changes with Doge and everything else. It's curious to me what happened this week, and I mean, full disclosure, Elon and I had a great conversation, about a half-hour long talk on Monday this week. Monday morning, and we talked about the big beautiful bill, because I think he was trying to make a joke a couple of days earlier. It can't be big and beautiful, and I started the conversation. Oh yes, it can, my friend. It's very beautiful. So we talked about all the record level of savings. My friends, no government in the history of mankind has ever cut $1.6 trillion in a piece of legislation. We're doing that here. I mean, the extraordinary level of savings and the historic level of tax cuts at the same time, and all these great policy prescriptions. And I talked to Elon through all that and explained to him what we're doing, and that this is just the beginning of a long process of making government more efficient and effective, of cutting wasteful spending, fraud, and abuse. And you can't do it all in one bill. It took Congress decades to get to this situation. It's going to take us a little while to get out of it, but we have a very specific plan to do that. And Elon was encouraged by that conversation. It was a very friendly, very fruitful conversation together. And he and I talked about the midterm elections, and he said, I'm going to help. We got to make sure that the Republicans keep the House majority. We can't have the president impeached, which is what the Democrats would do on day one, as we all well know. And we've got to continue this. The Trump administration needs 4 years to do all this reform, not 2 years. Elon and I left on a great note. We were texting one another, happy texts, Monday. And then yesterday, 24 hours later, he does a 180 and he comes out and opposes the bill. And it surprised me, frankly. And I don't take it personal. We don't take it personal. Policy differences are not personal. I think he's flat wrong. I think he's way off on this, and I've told him as much, and I've said it publicly and privately. I'm very consistent in that. But am I concerned about the effect of this on the midterms? I'm not. Let me tell you why. Because when the big beautiful bill is done and signed into law, every single American is going to do better. This bill is geared for middle and working class Americans, and they are going to feel the effects of it, and they're going to feel it before the midterm elections. So I have no concern whatsoever. I'm absolutely convinced that we're going to win the midterms and grow the House majority, because we're delivering for the American people and fulfilling our campaign promises, and we'll see how that happens. Second, well, I'll tell you.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. So, man, we can stop that right there. Mike Johnson in full support of the big beautiful bill. And like you said, man, it's a process. And I started saying that earlier, that Elon not really being, a politician. I mean, he may not understand that process, that the cuts that he may want to implement as it gets further along through the process may be added. You know what I'm saying? It's something that is compromised. The president just can't push out legislation without going through Congress. So if you're mad at anybody, Elon, you might want to take it up with the Congress, not Trump. I mean, it's a give and take when it comes to legislation, and people have their incentives, and we have to try to make the campaign promises happen with the legislation that Congress agrees upon, right? But once again, man, I hate to see this with Donald Trump and Elon Musk, man, the bromance and all of that. And before I get out of here, man, it's one more visual I want to present to you. And this guy pretty much sums it up and I totally agree with just about everything that he says on Newsmax, Carl Higby. So we're going to roll that clip, and I'll come back with my final thoughts.
Well, turns out my prediction yesterday was a little bit off. So I'm like 65-1. Still more right than Jim Cramer, at least. But I'm not above being wrong. And if I am, look, I'll come on here and say it. I said yesterday that this Trump-Musk tiff was part of a plan to tank the bill And I had based that on the fact that Trump had not fired back at Elon and off the fact that somebody in the White House told me that everything was fine. It's clearly not today. And look, I'll be honest, this like really hurts my soul. Okay. And I'm not even going to take a side here. These two were doing awesome things together. And it popped off a few hours ago when Trump was asked in the Oval Office very casually about Elon's opposition to the bill.
I'm very disappointed because Elon knew the inner workings of this bill better than almost anybody sitting here, better than you people. He knew everything about it. He had no problem with it. All of a sudden, he had a problem.
And Elon responded with a tweet saying, quote, "False, this bill was never shown to me even once and was passed in the dead of night so fast that almost no one in Congress could even read it."
I wonder what that project deadline was.
Okay, like first off, there's probably a gray area in here. Like Elon probably knew a lot about this bill. Was he thrilled with it? We all knew he wasn't. But like, I'm not totally sure where the actual realism is. But I'm inclined to believe that there's a bunch of people in the middle that have muddied these waters. And it's not necessarily between Trump and Elon, because there's no way these two would just randomly blow up like this. So what happened? Did Mike Johnson tell Trump that Elon was fine with this? I mean, Elon is the guy who's been posting bills so people can read them. And as we showed you yesterday, Marjorie Taylor Greene, a usually very thorough member of Congress, she didn't read the bill because the normal 72-hour hold on any bill before voting for something so you could, read it, it was suspended to expedite the voting of this bill. And this has been my concern, that this bill wasn't great from the beginning. And I tried to say that. And instead, I had members of Congress and people from the White House telling me that I should be for it. But the more I find out, the more I feel like I was on the right side of this bill problem. And Elon started dropping receipts. This is what happens when you have a guy who owns the very platform that people communicate on. He has them at his access. And again, this hurts my soul to have this kind of rift. But I don't think Elon's that wrong in his feelings about this bill. Pulling up old tweets from Johnson, who said in 2018, quote, "At some point, Congress has to stop this endless cycle of out-of-control deficit spending." Yeah. Also, he pulled one up from Senate Majority Leader John Thune, quoting him in a 2011 CNN op-ed where he said, quote, "Balanced budget or bust," at Leader John Thune. Elon even reached into the archives on Trump, who said, in 2013, "I cannot believe the Republicans are extending the debt ceiling. I am a Republican and I am embarrassed." Okay. I mean, this is kind of what I've been saying for years. We voted for these things like fiscal conservatism. We were promised spending cuts. And that's what Elon's frustration is here. I think he kind of blew up a little bit irrationally on Trump today. But the guy gave up. I get it, Elon. Okay. Like, you've done awesome things. You gave up time at your company. You camped out on the floor of the EEOB across from the White House. You ate cold pizza and McDonald's. You worked 20 hours a day, and you got death threats, and people burned down your stores to help. And you did it to help us fix the government for free. For free. I get it. You have every right to be annoyed at this bill. But don't take it out on the man. Like, fix the government in the way that all the people who ran for office promised they would do. And that's what you did. You came in there and tried to do that. But they just didn't do it. So I get why you're upset. And the first chance, look, man, I'm with you on this. The first chance that those people who ran on fiscal conservatism got, the first bill that they put forward on this, they raised the debt ceiling by $5 trillion. Guys, this breaking point was bound to happen. I have been saying it for literally years. You can't run for office. You can't have 535 people run for office. And I think most of the frustration on Elon is coming directed at Congress, to be honest. This breaking point had to happen at some point. You can't promise to be a very ideologically driven base that you're fiscally conservative. Look, I'm part of that base. What did you think was going to happen, Mike? We were promised fiscal sanity. Many of you even promised a balanced budget, like John Thune. And he came with the receipts. Elon came with the receipts where Mike Johnson was concerned about the debt only 2 years ago. I get why Elon's so angry. He gave up everything to do this Doge thing. His stock tanked at his company. He lost contracts with other countries. And the Democrat Party, which he was once loved by, completely turned on him. The guy gave up literally everything to help fix the government, and he feel like he got backhanded. Still, I don't like what he did to Trump. Again, not taking a side here. Still love Trump, and I really like Elon. This is just a really crappy scenario right now, and I really hope these two can patch these things up, because I think Elon took a low blow by tweeting that, quote, DJT was on the Epstein client list. I mean, something that he knows can't be immediately verified. Also, if Trump was on that island doing something illegal, after all the legal battles that Biden threw at him, if he had done something illegal with Jeffrey Epstein, you would think they would have thrown that at him. No, they pulled out the stops on everything else. The only thing we can point to that was a known association with Epstein was that he was at his club once. And by the way, Trump kicked him out of that club because of reported bad behavior. And also, Elon, if you knew he was on the Epstein client list, why did you let him board Marine One with your son?
Facts, Elon. If you knew all that, why you just not saying something, bro?
Just asking. But the best thing for Trump to do now is to release the list, something that also our FBI and Pam Bondi have promised us. But also, Elon, again, appreciate your help, dude. But some people in the House are telling me that this is originating from potentially the EV tax credits as well, which I don't know if that's true, because you were in favor of deleting them a few years ago.
Do we need support for gas stations? We don't. So there's no need for this for support for a charging network. I would delete it. Delete.
Look, I don't know what to believe here. My hope is that this is just a spat, unfortunately, very public spat between two bros, and it's going to be patched up tomorrow. Look, Trump threatened his space contract. Elon tweeted out a low blow, and tomorrow I'm hoping it'll be fine. I mean, that's like in a perfect world for me. But I honestly don't know what to believe anymore. Trump has genuinely kept most of his promises. I haven't seen any evidence of Elon ever being dishonest either. But I do know that Congress basically lies to us every 2 years to get elected. So I think Congress may be the secret problem here. Promising Trump everything he wanted. You know, Mike Johnson did that. Then making a bloated bill that led to Elon being annoyed, that led to Trump making a benign comment from the Oval Office today, that led to a tweet about the Epstein client list. Like, either way, man, this kind of stuff, this is what Democrats do. We as Republicans don't do this. We shouldn't be doing this. And if I could sit down with Trump and Elon right now at a table, I'd be like, look, you guys, you could literally conquer the world together. Probably other worlds too. I mean, Mars is on the deck. Can we just hug it out for the sake of the country? Honestly, I think I speak for most of America right now. And at least the people who voted for Trump are probably. Because nobody's happy about this. And I don't care if some liberal network quotes me on that. I just want to make America great again.
He loves the Constitution. He fights for.
Yes, indeed, man. I love that. As like I said in conclusion, man, it's one of those situations where it's unfortunate, man, to see Elon and Trump going head to head on social media. Very juvenile-ish behavior, you know. I don't like it at all. It's it's content. It gave a lot of people content. The whole world is talking about this. You know what I'm saying? And I'm late. But I love to get my perspective on these things. Hopefully this is over with, you know, as it pertains to this particular debacle between Elon and President Trump. You know, it seems like, you know, they're both very passionate about their position, and hopefully they can come to some type of agreement. And tomorrow, you know, later on today, man, get on the phone, chop it up like men. See, one thing about men, one thing about your dog, man, you don't throw him under the bus publicly. Like, I'm gonna stand with you right or wrong behind the scenes. We can chop it up and we can hold each other's feet to the fire. But hey, man, it's your boy Jay Taylor, Voices for the Voiceless. What say you? Drop it in the comment section. And until next time, we'll talk to you soon. Peace and blessings.